Yeah. Yeah. There's a war going on inside. Just to name a couple, I battle with porn and pride. In a persistent struggle, a reoccurring huddle, a prayer meeting with me and the Holy Spirit. Feeling free, but no, I'm nowhere near it. But thank God for his conviction. The awful part of me that made leave others to suspicion and called me into question. I confess my addiction. Know it's a lethal weapon. May compromise the mission. Being proselytized from this humanistic system. You think about that and tell me just what you envision. You think about crack and how it kept on calling Pookie. Feel that about sin. Feel like it's always trying to shoot me, but I help him work his aim to make sure he doesn't miss. I sell him the guns, let him borrow the clips. I set myself up sometimes just so I repent. Keep walking with me, Jesus, you know I need your strength. Oh Lord.
To be honest, many nights I've gotten bored. I killed the beast and willed the beast a million times before. I sort of won't assume the hills reveals me in a spoon. I lay it down, I'm praying now. Forgot to take this tune, I seem to replay it. Book of records will wreck the message. I'm praying for brighter days, but I can see the storm lesson. My essence fall to a fraud. Talking only blessings, but never addresses menage. Too loneliness, mirage, and chilling over my eyesight. Wonder how Stevie feel when this mirror will give me chills. Cause all I can see is twilight, no reflection. This civil war, I'm bound to question. Can I kill the lust that I love? Enough with this guessing, man. I'm in a line like Levi. I guess it's in my genes. I've inherited his spirit, is precisely what I mean. It's time to kill the flesh. I got snipers on us, depressing. When past is an issue, future sense, but I'm focused on his presence.
Every day I wake, there's a war on. I won't be the one that ends the one true God I'ma call on. Cause he the only one that can save souls. Yeah, brother, right. Are you ready to come? Yeah, so with this war going on, we gon' fight till the day that we die.
I wasn't always saved, I was once depraved and a slave to my nature. My way to an early grave had been paved. Generations before me, my forefathers, he carried the Lord's gene, causing me to be formed evil. But even before the tree in the garden was seen as a cause of beat, the Lord and his seed had a scheme to pardon, redeem the fallen, release the call from the demon's claws, and free the lost with the peace of the Father in the pizza promise. But being honest, I was a pacifist people pleaser, a punk of a peacekeeper, a rug under feet and sneakers, passive aggressive, suppressing wrath and neglecting, addressing acts of offense, never getting mad, it just seeps deeper. The cheat Jesus, animosity's remedy at the cross, it's to end the beef and abolish offenses. We as a lost in enmity with the Father, his enemies, and for knowledge is tend to be getting dropped from his list of thieves. But in between then and me getting clean, sex and hit the screen, a triple X and fiend for the sex that you get in dreams. Ain't even since redeemed I can live in and get deceived, and it seems the repentance sleeves when I seek him and hit my knees. For victory is a promise and he's accomplished it in his slaughter for all my deeds in the dark when my thoughts are weak. Tempted to fall in deep, but I'm walking in on my feet. I don't jog like I'm not competing, the job is an awesome feat.
Every day I wake, there's a war on. I won't be the one that ends the one true God I'ma call on. Cause he the only one that can save souls. Yeah, brother, right now. Are you ready to come? Yeah, so with this war going on, we gon' fight till the day that we die.
Going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on SheepStaysLeepTV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, much love. And if you are here and you can hear me clearly, please put a number 1 in the chat. Please put a number 1 in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you are here, you can hear me clearly. Please put a number 1 in the chat. It's very much appreciated. Please put a number 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. Okay. Let's see who's up in here. Awesome. Y'all can hear me. That's what's up. I'm glad y'all can hear me. Shout out to everybody in the building. Welcome back to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, of course. I appreciate all the love and the support. Shout out to everybody. What's good, y'all? What's going on? Shout out to all the visionaries in the building. We're going to get into it today. Make sure y'all hit the like button and make sure y'all share the show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share the show. Share it on your community tabs, your Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere that you share content. Make sure you share this show because we're going to get into it today. We are going to get into it today, and we're also going to revisit an article that I spoke on in a stream, I'm going to say about 2 months ago. Because I don't think, and if y'all haven't yet, make sure y'all go follow me and my brother, the Book of Ronan podcast. That's the Foundational Manhood podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Also follow us on all your audio platforms. The links is in the description box. Click those links and follow the podcast. Because today's show is an exact reason why me and my brother came up with this podcast, man. Today's show is a direct reason why. And we're going to get into it. So before I shout out everybody in the chat, I appreciate y'all for coming through. I'm going to shout out the sponsors. Shout out to Alpha Juice Co. Lovely Alpha Juice Co. Make sure y'all get down in the description box. Click that link and get your Alpha Juices. Y'all know my favorite is the late night text brothers. Y'all know how we do with them late night texts. So, shout out to Alpha Juice Co. Go over there, get your nice cold pressed, freshly made, all natural fruits and vegetables, no added sugars, no, none of the preservative stuff, none of those things. So, and you would like to get a percentage off, make sure, don't forget to use my promo code at your checkout. Don't forget to use my promo code, which is DS1 Ross at your checkout. If y'all want to know, how your brother been slimming down, your brother been juicing, along with a few other things, but definitely been on that juice. So shout out to everybody. Salute to everybody in the building. Let's see who's here. Let me give my shout outs before I start today's show. See who's up in the building. Hey, Miss Queena. Good to see you. As always, coming through, holding down the chat. Shout out to Queena. Shout out to the OG Mace. What's good, Mace? Good to see you, man. As always. Jervis Horton. Salute. What's good, Jervis Horton? Shout out to my brother Junior Ali in the building. Salute, my brother. Salute. Peace to you. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Sutton. Salute. Hey, Topaz. You know I love when you type in my chat, Topaz. What's up, Topaz? Good to see you. Hey, Raven. Shout out to you, Raven. Good to see you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Today's Friday. Feeling good today. You know, feeling a little good today. Shout out to my brother, the Book of Rona, in the building. Shout out to my bro, man. He said the late night text is fire. Man, you see why it's my favorite, dog. Shout out to my brother, the Book of Rona, in the building. Like I said, make sure y'all follow FNP Nation. Join FNP Nation. Y'all can follow us on all audio platforms, man. Shout out to my bro in the building. Asar, salute, Asar. Salute. He says, no disrespect to the departed, but a Harlem cat will drink, smoke, and fight his problems away. Not off himself, but rest in peace to the young soul. Hey, man, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this because you got to remember, too, my brother, we're in a different time today. We're in a different time today. We're in a different time. And the youth of today, they're growing up in a different paradigm than we did, you know. And I'm guessing you around my age or maybe a little older, Jervis. You know, you've been around here before, so you know. But a lot of these young kids like E-Dot Baby, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it, but you know, just because you from Harlem and stuff like that, that don't mean, you know, you just going to do things the same because you from the same place, you know. We in a different time, man. We're in a different paradigm. We're in a different age. Gotta remember this. We're in a different age. We're in a different era in time. Now we're in the Aquarian age. Before we was in the Piscean age. So if you was born before the Aquarian age, you're not going to understand a lot of what we see going on now. You know, it's going to confuse you. You're going to look at things as being weird and, you know, oh, these children today, and it just sounds like a bunch of craziness. And yeah, because you're not vibing with today's vibes. You don't know what's going on. Hey, Miss Angie, good to see you. Shout out to Miss Angie, always coming through and holding down the chat. Appreciate you, Miss Angie. Charles Ramsey, salute. You see, so we got to understand that these children today, these youngins, they operate different because they're thinking different, because the planet is vibrating on a different frequency. So we got, see, if we don't understand these types of things, we're lost in the sauce. We're not going to know how to relate, which then we're not going to know how to teach. Why do you think these children don't like to go to school today? Because the old way of teaching has died. Standing in front of a blackboard, taking notes, doing all of that stuff. I'm not saying that that stuff doesn't work. I'm not saying that the conventional way of doing things doesn't work. But you have to understand that it doesn't work for the youth today. The majority of the youth, they don't learn the way we learn. They learn through observation. They learn through socializing. Why do you think most of these children, you could give them a phone, you can give them a tablet, a baby? Perfect example, my little cousin. She 2 years old. Know how to say her whole name, know her numbers, know her letters, know how to say whole sentences at 2. Why? Not because she sat in front of a teacher and they wrote the words down and she sounded. No. She listens to what? Music that teaches her. And this is how she learns, through observation and socializing. This is why these kids love these devices, because they're interactive. They're not somebody just saying, hey, write A. Hey, write B. Hey, write C. No. This is why they're learning faster. This is why they're speaking faster. This is why they're walking faster. This is why they're growing faster. So we have to understand this. Self University, salute, my brother. We have to understand this when we're talking about our youth. See, a lot of us, we can't relate to them because we're lost. We don't know what's going on in the world. We're not vibing with the vibes, like they would say. And as long as you're here on earth and you want to be able to communicate with people effectively, you have to be vibing with the vibes. Okay? You can't be outdated and then walking around looking at everybody else weird. No, you're the weird one. You're the weird one. Like these young dudes look at me and be like, you ain't got no iPhone? What world are you in, homie? Oh, yeah, I know. They tell me this. Oh, I know you an old nigga. You ain't got no iPhone. Why? Because I'm not vibing with the vibes. On that level, I'm not vibing with the vibes. And I tell them, yeah, I'm not vibing with the vibes when it comes to that. I'm just not. You know, when it comes to iPhones and the newest iPads, I'm not vibing with the vibes, little bro. I'm not. You got to put me on. But if we're not vibing with the vibes, we don't know how to vibe with them, because that's how our youth deal with life today. They live off vibes. They on energy mode. If you don't come at them with the right energy, they're not rocking with you. All that extra hard parental shit, that's not going to rock with them. It's not going to rock with them. You got to come to them on their level. This is how I get along with all my little bros. And I don't call them little bro. They call me big bro. And I'm not the big bro with the Benz, with all the money that's putting niggas on. And I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm the other big bro. I'm the big bro that they come to when shit get nasty in the street. And they figuring out like, yo, I gotta get out of this. I need somebody I'm that big bro. And I don't never try to be nothing other than that. What's up, Bob? Salute. You see? Because I know how to relate to them and still be myself and still stay in my lane and do what I do. That's how you be effective. But if you don't understand what these children are dealing with and how they vibing, you're lost. You need to just be quiet. You don't need to say anything. You need to keep your opinion to yourself. This is why a lot of y'all get beat up. That's why a lot of you dudes, y'all start getting out there, proselytizing and all. That's why you get beat on. You get beat right up. Don't come out there thinking you nobody grandfather. Don't come out there with that shit. You got to understand what they dealing with. Are you vibing with the vibes? You see? And at the same time, you still can let them know the type of shit you not on. See? My little bros know, don't bring no guns around me. If you got a gun on you, don't come around me. Because if you got a gun on you and you around me, you must got beef. See? But you got to be vibing with the vibes. Nobody said you got to be selling drugs. That's not vibing with the vibes. Doing drugs is not vibing with the vibes. No. They just got to know you. And people got to know you. That's in the neighborhood. They got to know who you are and know what you stand for. You ain't got to be no gangster. You don't have to be a tough guy. You don't have to be a killer. You just got to specialize in being yourself. And a lot of them young dudes will rock with you if you be yourself. Then they'll listen to you. They'll take your advice. See, this how I know that death and despair is plaguing our black men, especially our young black men. This how I know, because I be around them. I be around them. I be around them when they cry. See, y'all be around them when they shopping and getting fly. I'm around them when they crying. See, that's when I'm around. I'm that big bro. When they going through some shit in the house and they don't got nobody to talk to. That's me. I'm him. I've always been him. I've always been him. See, that's how I know what our young brothers are going through. That's how I know. That's how I know. That's how I know money ain't gonna solve the problem. Because these young niggas got money. Trust me. They got bread. They do. I know they do. Trust me, I know they do. I be around them. I be around them. So I know. And they getting money. But that's what they're doing. They're not opening up businesses. They're not doing that. They're not. They're not starting record labels. They're not filming movies. They're not doing any of that. They're doing drugs and killing with the money. The more money they get, the more artillery they buy to kill. Why? People who do that with their money are people who are in despair. These are people who don't see a way out. So what do? They do everything to keep themselves bombarded in. So if I'm in here, I'm going to make sure I'm fully protected at all times. If I'm going to die here, I'm going to make sure I'm fully armed. I'm going to go out like Tony Montana. That's despair. That's despair. See, black men, we have a problem with thinking that way of living is normal. That's just the life of a man. No, name me some other men that you know live like that. Normal. I'm talking about generation after generation after generation. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 generations. Some of us brothers in the chat room, we have a criminal history in our family. We come from a history of drug dealers, a history of killers, a history of them. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And we have to stop normalizing it, because that's what these young boys are saying. Well, my uncle is the big homie for such and such. This why I'm out here putting in work. When that shit gonna stop? We just gonna say never and just turn our backs. Because that's what a lot of us do. Oh, well, it's never going in anyway, so fuck it. That's blatant irresponsibility. That's you saying, oh, well, fuck it. It's wrong, but I'm gonna look past it. Come on, man. And see, we do that shit until it happens to one of ours. We ignore it. Oh, it don't matter. It's gonna keep happening. It ain't gonna stop till it happens to you. Now what? Now what? See why I can easily debunk all y'all bullshit talking points? Because soon as your little man get bodied, then what? Soon as something happens to somebody in your family, now what? Now it don't matter? Why it can't matter now? Your family member in the ground. When all them other people died and got killed, remember, you didn't give a fuck. That was life. But now your people part of that equation. Oh, but so the world should give a fuck now. But you ain't give a fuck about nobody else. But everybody should give a fuck about you. You see the problem there? You see the problem? You see the problem? That's a level of despair. that black men are dealing with. Now I'm gonna go through this article. Shout out to Alonzo Hall in the building. What's up, Toya? Good to see you. Vander Van, salute. I'm gonna go through this article. I'm gonna review it again because I brought it up before in a previous stream. And as y'all can see on the thumbnail, I'm gonna pull the thumbnail up again. Popular New York rapper E. Baby is dead at 17. Okay? Not 27, not 37, not 47, not 57, not 67 or 77. He's 17 years old. Now, remember, I did that stream about 2 months ago where I read the article where they were saying how young black men, black youth, not even just the men, but it's boys and girls, from the ages of 8, I think, to 18, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to read the article again. Are actively committing suicide. They're actively committing suicide. He was 17 and took his life, shot himself in the head. 17 years old. See, we come from that era where suicide is very few far in between. We didn't really hear about suicides. But see, we got to remember now we're in the Aquarian age. You see? So now we're discovering that a lot of us as black men suffer from mental health issues, which lead to what? Suicide. You see? Back in the day, when dudes killed themselves, we thought, oh, he was just weak. Oh, he weak. He killed himself. He weak. That's what we chalked it up to because we didn't go and get the proper information. The Aquarian age is the age of what? Information. Information and socialization. You see? How do you think they create automatons, robots? Because they what? They feed the machine the information and then teach the machine how to socialize or interact with people. Are y'all following me now? You see why these kids love being on the internet? Wake up, y'all. Y'all got to understand what time we're in. I keep telling y'all, y'all always hear me say this, it's a spiritual war. This is why y'all don't understand the youth. This is why y'all don't understand why they're killing themselves. Y'all don't understand because y'all not going and reading the information. A lot of these black kids are dealing with depression, anxiety, stress, anger issues, rage issues. This is why they're doing, reckless bludgeon murders. Because they're dealing with rage. This is mental health. This is mental health stuff. See, the days of smoking a blunt, getting you a drink, and just chilling and blocking it out, them days are gone, fellas. Those days are gone. The energy on earth has changed. We can't hide it no more. We can't. We can't because we're in an age of socialization where you got to socialize more. This is why you're seeing the breakdown in communication between black men. It is because we don't understand what age we're in. That's why we don't understand. We have a socializing issue. We don't know how to socialize. We have a communication issue. We don't see it. But it's being played out right here on the airwaves every day. And we see it happen so frequently because this is the energy. Brothers, we got to correct the energy to be able to move forward in this age. The information is there. You can't say you don't know nothing about mental health. We're in the Aquarian age. You can acquire the information. And when you acquire that information and you get that help, that then will help us socialize better. Because Aquariuses are about what? Socializing. Aquariuses love going out. They love talking to people. They socializers. They love to talk. I've been with an Aquarian woman, and she was light-skinned, so you know she was feeling herself. She talked to everybody. Hey boo. That's the Aquarian. Hey boo. Especially if she extra cute, she's speaking to everybody. She got friends. She like to have Aquarian women like to have friends. They like to go out. They like the club. They're about socializing, interacting with people. This is the age that we're in. Why you think you see all the young boys grouped up? They're going everywhere 50 deep, 60 deep. They could stand on a corner and talk to themselves for hours. They don't need to talk to nobody else. That's how they socialize. That's how they interact. We got to understand what we're dealing with, man. In order for you to understand the death and despair that's plaguing them. Y'all don't know what they're going through because y'all don't talk to them. The first thing y'all do is look at them and judge them. That's the first thing you do. What's up, Nadia? Good to see you. Shout out to Dion. Oh, you're an Aquarius, bro? January 31st, February 7th, Aquarius. What's that? 8 millionaire. What's up, 8 millionaire? January 22nd, Aquariuses. Oh, I know. Jervis says, I'm an introvert, Aquarius, but I like to know new things. Exactly. And you know that's going to take a level of socialization. You know that, bro. You know you're going to have to come out your shell in order to learn new things. You know that. You an Aquarius. You know that, bro. Even with you being an introvert. And you may just be an introvert on your own, but at work, you probably talk a lot. M Mills, what's up, M Mills? She said, yes, Aquarius love to socialize and talk to everybody. Oh, yeah. Queen says, yes, they love to talk. Yes, they do. Oh, I know. I know. So we got to understand where our youth is. And you got to understand why a lot of our youth is going to music. Because music is what? Music is not only, a way to heal you, but music also does what? It gives you information. See, they're moving on the Aquarian energy, but we don't see that. We don't see that, though. This is why they into music. See, if you listen to their music, you'll know that they're dealing with a lot of death and despair in their life. If you listen to it. Why you think they're always shouting their homeboys out that died? That hurts them. You think it doesn't? They're hurt behind their homies getting killed. They learn how to live with it, but it hurts them. Every day it hurt them. Every time I have to talk about suicide or mental health, I think about my homeboy who killed himself. Rest in peace to my brother Alpo. I got to think about this. You see? And I really had to sit back because when I first got the news, I couldn't believe it. Because I was like, yo, we don't do that. We don't do that. But then I had to sit back and think. I had to go through a whole process in my mind. And then I look at the youth today. I listen to what they saying in these songs. A lot of them don't got their fathers around. A lot of their mothers are on drugs. A lot of their mothers are prostitutes. A lot of their mothers are dead too. A lot of their mothers are in jail. A lot of them grew up with their grandmothers. that died. A lot of them are homeless. A lot of them are homeless. A lot of these young dudes, 17, 18, that's living in New York, they homeless. Why do you think they always hang around their bros? They hang around their bros because they could go and sleep in their bro floor. They could go sleep on the floor at their bro house. They dealing with death and despair. Imagine you 13 years old, homeless. You ain't got nowhere to go. Your mother in jail or she cracked out. Your father in jail or dead. Your grandmother just died. They done kicked you out the projects because your grandmother died. That was her house. She dead now. You got to go. You 13. You 13. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. But we sit around and we ignore it and we judge them based off of the actions that they do as a basically a response to what they've been dealing with. I mean, come on. These kids are 16. E-Dot Baby was 17 years old. 17. These are kids, man. 17 years old. But we're not dealing with death and despair. We're not, right? Oh, I'm just making this up. Oh, right. No. So let's get to this article. I'm gonna pull up this article and I'm gonna share my screen. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Share today's show and make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button and make sure y'all share the show. Let's get to this article real quick. Let me share my screen with y'all. Let me read a few of y'all comments as well. Dion says the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 25. Raven says children today actually like to have conversations about the things they are feeling and topics that they are really concerned about. Yes, ma'am, they are. Opposed to the conventional way of sitting in front of a damn chalkboard. But this is going to take a level of what? Sound communication. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this article. Y'all may not. But this is an article from the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, the AACAP policy statement on increased suicides among Black youth in the U.S. Now, I will put the link down in the description box so y'all can read it for yourselves again after the show. But let's get to this article. It says, since 2017, suicide has been the second leading cause of death. Do y'all want me to highlight that? Matter of fact, I will, so y'all can see it. Matter of fact, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Make that a little bigger for y'all so y'all can see it. Now, do y'all see that? Do y'all see that I just highlighted, that sentence that I just highlighted? Now, let's read it. Since 2017, it's only 2022, suicide has been the second leading cause of death in those 10 to 19 years old. I said 8, 10 to 19 years old. It is the second leading cause of death dealing with Black youth. Suicide. So no, they're not going to smoke a blunt and get over it like we did, bro. They're not going to go drink some Douce and go smash something and then it's done. They don't operate like that, bro. That's the old paradigm. The old paradigm is hiding your feelings. The old paradigm is keeping things in, keeping the information in, keeping your feelings and all of your thoughts in. That's the old paradigm. The paradigm today, it is forcing us men to talk. You know why? Because there's too much men killing themselves. That's why we got to talk now. There's too many men dying quick. Quick now. Quick. They dropping. This is why you seeing men talk, because niggas are dropping. Heart attack, brain aneurysm, cancer. Quick. 45, 52, 56, 60, dead. Black men ain't even living to 70 years old. So the universe is telling us it's time to speak up. Open your mouth. Go get the therapy. You can no longer just hide it with the blunt. The blunt is just not going to do it. The blunt is temporary. The liquor is temporary. See? And see, what these young children know is they already know that the pills are not working. They already know the lean is not working. Why you think they pop so much pills? These young boys be popping 4 and 5 perks like it's nothing, walking around numb and still feel pain. See, you don't know what these young boys and these young women are going through, because these young women are out here the same age overdosing as well, killing themselves as well. See, they just don't give a lot of TV coverage to the young women who are dying from this shit as well. Because you know the order of the day is always a black man. You see? But these young girls are getting killed. They're killing themselves. They're popping pills, overdosing, and all of that as well. So let's continue with the article. Shout out to everybody in the building, by the way. Hit the like button and share the show. Hit the like button and share the show. Share the show, y'all, and hit the like button. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. We got 50 people in here. We should have 50 likes. Should have 50 likes. It says, since 2017, suicide has been the second leading cause of death in those 10 to 19 years old. Rates of suicide among Black youth have risen faster than any other racial/ethnic group in the past 2 decades. Pay attention. This is serious stuff, man. Rates of suicide among Black youth have risen faster than any other race/ethnic group in the past 2 decades, with suicide rates in Black males 10 to 19 years old increasing by 60%. You see what I'm saying, bro? They not the weed not doing it. The weed not making them forget their problems like it did for us when we were young. And we knew that the weed really didn't fix our problems. Let's just be honest. We knew that. We knew going to get a Corona or going to get a Heineken or going to get some Henny wasn't fixing the problem. We knew that already. We grew up doing the shit that we saw the older dudes do, because that's what they did when they were in pain and going through shit. They drunk and smoked. But we knew, because when we drunk and we smoked, we still talked about that shit. See, we knew, fellas. The millennials, I'm talking to the millennials now. We knew. We knew the liquor wasn't doing it. We knew the weed wasn't doing it. We knew the ecstasy wasn't doing it. We knew the Molly wasn't doing it. We knew it. So why are we going to sit here and act like it's helping these young kids? Why are we sitting here acting like it's helping them forget things? No, it's making them think about it even more, because that's what it did with us. You ever had one of y'all homies, sound off in the chat room, fellas? Y'all ever had one of y'all homies, ladies as well? Y'all had any one of y'all homegirls, any one of y'all friends that whenever she get drunk, she start crying? Whenever y'all start drinking and she get drunk, she start crying and acting emotional and dramatic. Fellas, y'all know we had those dudes in the crew. You always had one or two of those dudes. He get extra drunk. He start telling everybody he love them. Yo, I love you, man. Oh, man. We been through so much. Man, I love you, man. I love you. We got those. And Mills says yes. 8 Millionaire says yep. Oh yeah. See, that's the proof that the alcohol just bringing that shit out. The liquor, the pills, all that, it bring it out. It don't suppress nothing, man. And see, let me tell y'all something about these youth today. These young kids today, they're not afraid to die. They're not afraid of death. See, we grew up in an era where death was still a scary thing. Especially if you wasn't out there risking your life every day. Death was still scary, man. Death was still scary. To these young boys and these young women today, they're not afraid. They ready to die. They ready to check out. They ready to check up off this earth because they're tired of suffering. They're tired of dealing with what they got to deal with here. So there's a lot of death and despair that's plaguing us. But we just act like, it's not there and it's right in our face. Dion says the children have nowhere to go for help. Sad. Truth. Daddy government just put them in a hotel with no therapy, no mental health support. Facts, bro. Raven says, I had a group of 14 girls, ages 10 to 14. I did wilderness therapy, and they all had various experiences with drugs, self-harm, and suicide. Damn. Shout out to you, Raven, for doing that work. Shout out to you. So they definitely fit this same statistic, huh? Thanks for putting that in the chat room, Raven. I appreciate that. So let's continue. It says early adolescent Black youth are twice as likely to die by suicide as compared to their white counterparts. Let me read that again and let me highlight this. I'm gonna highlight this so y'all can read this. So we can start taking this stuff a lot more serious. Early adolescent Black youth are twice as likely to die by suicide as compared to their white counterparts. Understanding and changing this trajectory will require transdisciplinary efforts, including those of educators, child welfare, legal and juvenile justice systems, healthcare professionals, including child and adolescent psychiatrists, and the community at large. This is how we're going to stop the Black suicide problem. You want our youth to get off drugs and stop killing themselves? We're going to have to do some of this. We're going to have to change and implement different tactics on how we deal with the youth. This goes for who? Everyone. Educators, child welfare, legal and juvenile justice systems, the healthcare professionals, the psychiatrists, and the community. So that means, and you people in the chat room. You see? We are our own agency. Let's continue. Data does show us that community violence, socioeconomic stress, perceived discrimination, right? Like the police coming around your block 1,500 times in a 24-hour time period, and they like to harass and grope black men. You see, this is called what? Perceived discrimination. Me and my homeboys went through that. You just outside, these people are going, the Klan, because that's how they roll around our neighborhood, because that's how they roll around ours. They came around my block back in, when my block was my block in the heyday. The DTs came around every 45 minutes. I lie to you not. One of my brothers is in the chat room. Sound off in the chat, bro. Let them know it's real. Some of my bros in the clouds, y'all sound off in the chat. Let them know it's real. Every 45 minutes. And when they come around, they hopping out. When they come around, they hopping out and they're groping us. Sexual harassment. Yes, facts. Perceived discrimination. Perceived discrimination. You just outside. You don't even know why they doing it. A lot of times our homeboys who wasn't even actively doing nothing outside, who was just hanging out with us, they got harassed and groped too by the Klan. Because that's how they ride around in them black cars. They used to come around my block, all the windows down, with their heads hanging out the car, like the Klan. These are facts. I'm not capping. That's how they came through my block. Heads hanging out the car. What y'all doing? Hey, what's going on, guys? Get against the wall. You ain't got nothing on you, right? You ain't got nothing on you, right? Then he get by your butt and he start doing this. He get by your butt and your nuts, he start doing this. This is what they do. This is perceived discrimination. Bro said 45 minutes is an understatement. Flashlights under your underwear. Facts. Come on, bro. He said 45 minutes is an understatement. Come on. Perceived discrimination. Stigma. Stigma. You know, big black man. You know, 5'9", black t-shirt, Yankee cap. Stigma. Stigma. They'll use that as the excuse for running up on us and sexually harassing us. They'll tell us, oh, well, we got a phone call. Your homeboy right here is dressed like the phone call we got. And they ain't getting no fucking phone call. See, because as we got older and we got smarter, you know what we used to start saying? Call it in on your walkie-talkie. Let us hear it. Because they was using that as an excuse to harass us and abuse us in the street. They'll say, oh, well, your homeboy look like, we got a call, your homeboy look like the suspect. All right, let us hear it on a walkie-talkie. That's how we start catching them and finding out that these people just like abusing and harming us, man. That's what we found out. They just like harming us. Because of what? A stigma. Because of a stigma. If you out there, you got to be selling drugs. You got to have a gun on you. You have to be participating in criminal activity if you standing out there. That's a stigma. That's a stigma. Because while we getting harassed and sexually abused, there's elderly Black women and elderly men who watched us grow up, who watched the police do this shit to us. They have to watch it. They don't sell drugs. They're civilians. They're tax-paying citizens. They used to watch us. They used to watch the police abuse us, man. That's how you know them people foul. They used to do it in front of our elderly people. These people come out the house, we jacked up against the wall. Somebody in handcuffs. Police, 30 police in the hallway with their guns out. What you think happening to these young boys? If they was doing that to us, what you think they doing to them? I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. They got to be getting it 20 times worse. They have to be. They have to be. They have to be, man. And we have to take this stuff into consideration when we're talking about the mind state of our young Black men and our young Black women. See, we have to do this as the millennials because nobody took our shit into consideration. Why do you think we're called the millennial generation? Why do you think they expected us or they expect us to change the trajectory of all this shit for Black people? Why do you think they put it all on the millennials? Why do you think? Because we're the generation that could teach this generation now, because we still have a little remnants of the old paradigm, and then we ushered in this new paradigm. We ushered in the internet age, the millennials, Y2K. That was us. We was the beginning of social media, MySpace, Black Planet, Tagged. That was us. We started the DMs. It's called the instant message on AOL. Ding, you've got mail. Remember that? Remember Yahoo Messenger? Remember ASL? Age, sex, and locate? We started all of this shit. So the millennials, we do have the power to change this shit. We do. And that's who everybody's looking for to change it. They're looking at us. They're looking at us, man. Because the generation before us is fucked. The generations after us are fucked. The only way that they're going to be okay is if they come to the millennials. Because they can't go back past us. They're not going to get nothing. They're not going to get nothing but shut up and get a job. That's what they're going to get. They're not going to get any understanding. They're not going to get anything that's productive and healthy for their minds. They got to come to us for it. They have to come to the millennials. They have to. What's up, Jax? Spotlight B-Ball, salute my brother, Shalom. That's why they self-medicate off perks and lean. That's right, my brother. What's good, Dex? Welcome to SheepStaysLeepTV. Dex says, when I was 12 years old, the cops pulled up to me and drew their service weapons on me, claiming I was a robbery suspect on the east side of Detroit, Michigan, back in 1981. I'm not surprised, my brother. I'm just glad you here, bro. I'm just glad you here, especially back in the 80s. They probably would have killed you, man. They probably would have killed you, my brother. I'm glad you here, bro. Let's continue. Data shows us that that community violence, socioeconomic stress, perceived discrimination, stigma, and interpersonal and family conflict are greater predictors for suicide in Black children and adolescents than in their white peers. Let's read that again. Data shows us that community violence, socioeconomic stress, perceived discrimination, stigma, and interpersonal and family conflict are greater predictors for suicide in Black children and adolescents than their white peers. So these are the things that are catering to the Black suicide rate. Socioeconomic stress, which is what? Persistent barriers to wealth. Community violence. What is that? The lack of Black male agency. And what else? And what else? The constant threat of extinction. Stigma. What is that? Negative media portrayal. Perceived discrimination. What is that? Negative media portrayal. Socioeconomic stress. What else does that entail? Besides persistent barriers to wealth, poor educational support. Family conflict. What does that entail? Fatherless homes. A job problem. The employment issue for Black men. This is what creates the family conflict, the interpersonal conflict. You see? These are the things that's catering to the suicide rate. The same shit we speak about every day here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. These same issues. But we keep thinking we can ignore them and hide them and mask them. No, we can't. Intersectionality, membership in more than one minoritized population affecting Black females and LGBTQ identities experience significantly increased suicide risk. See that? So our Black youth who are LGBTQ, they even have a higher risk of killing themselves based on those issues, along with them choosing the lifestyle that they chose to take. You see? Let's continue. Shout out to everybody in the building. Hit the like button and share the show, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. What's good, YC? Charles Ramsey says, big facts. I had a police swear I was a messed up person. And when he ran my name and seen I didn't have a record, first thing he said was, I bet I'll be the one lock you up. God damn. So he wanted to be the first one to give you a record because that's how he see you as a Black man. He see you as a criminal. Even if you never committed a crime, I'm gonna make you a criminal because you're a Black man. Sick. A lot of Black men are tired of dealing with this shit, man. Raven says, but the millennials have to be open to being active listeners to the youth. You have to build rapport, and that requires physical time being spent. A lot of people will claim to not have enough time. Yes, because they're at work. They're working. So yeah, a lot of them are going to say they don't have time because their purpose in life is not to do this type of work. See, in order for you to understand this type of work, this is the type of shit you got to be on. You got to be vibing with the vibes, or you're not going to have no time because you're not going to see any purpose or worth in spending time and doing this shit. People at work, most people are worried about themselves and only themselves. What's good, boot camp? You see? So that's why the rapport is not being built, because you got to care to build a rapport. You got to care first. You have to care. Mental health and substance use problems occurring in Black youth are often under-recognized, undertreated, or misdiagnosed due in part to bias, discrimination, and structural racism. Black youth who do come to clinical attention are often diagnosed with behavioral problems rather than other mental health conditions that identify an increased risk for suicide. So they misdiagnose us and write our shit off. Because at the end of the day, who cares about a Black life? See why I say we are our own agency? You see why I say we have to care? Because see, they'll just write us off and then misdiagnose us. Next thing you know, brother B done killed himself because he was misdiagnosed and led in the wrong direction, medically, to go see the wrong people. And they do this to our people all the time. This is why we have to care. We have to care, man. We do. Listen, let me say this before I move on in the article. Let me say this to all the brothers in the chat room. Let me make this clear. You cannot be an effective leader without compassion. You have to care about the people you are leading. See, this is why they say no effective leaders, or you cannot be an effective leader without emotional intelligence. And caring and understanding the people who are around you is having emotional intelligence, because that's how you can effectively communicate with someone and affect change. But if you can't relate to that person because you never could seem to understand them, because you're emotionally dumb or you're emotionally illiterate, because you're probably a low-level narcissist, then this is why it never works for you. This is why it never works for you. This is why it just seems like nobody wants to listen to you. Because maybe the way you come across is wrong. You see? And you're coming across in a way of you're trying to dictate instead of communicate. You see? Nobody wants a dictator. Okay? And most people who try to dictate shit to other people don't even dictate shit to themselves. They want to be hard on you, but they light as hell on themselves. People want to act so stern with you, but feelings is soft as butter. Soft as butter, but could dictate some shit though. See, that's why nobody wants to listen to you, because you're not relatable. And you're not relatable because you're not receptive enough to listen to what you need to change about you. See, a lot of people are into dictating and telling people what's wrong with them. There's always something wrong with you. But there's nothing wrong with what they're saying and how they're saying it. They never seem to grasp that. But then they wonder why they're not effective. And this is the problem that a lot of y'all complain about when trying to get across to the youth. See, you're not effective because you're not relatable. And you're not relatable because you talk down to people. You're talking away as if you're up here and you're pointing down at someone. See, that's not going to work with the youth today, because you'll get punched in your mouth or get your brains blown out. And that goes for men and women, by the way, because these youth today, their hands are bisexual. They don't care if you're a woman. They don't care if you're a man. You come out your mouth crazy, they're going in your mouth. Period. Bisexual hands. So you come out talking all that fly shit, thinking you somebody mama, and matter-of-factly talking to them, you're gonna get beat up. Okay? They're gonna put hands and feet on you, shorty. Watch your mouth. Same shit go for dudes. Because you need to know how to communicate effectively with people. This is what you need to learn. Why do you think, and I'm just referencing this, why do you think people love Jesus so much? Because he was relatable. He went down to the hoe house and talked to the hoes and ministered to the hoes, then went to the pimps and talked to the pimps, then went to the killers and talked to the killers, then went and talked to the robber barons and talked to them, then went and talked to the crooked priest. Why do you think he was welcome everywhere he went? Because he was relatable. Not just because he knew something. See, a lot of y'all think the information is not the key. It's how you disseminate it. Okay? You can have all the information you want, but if you are a poor communicator, nobody gives a fuck what you know. Because people are only going to listen to people who they know care. And if you care about somebody, you're going to watch how you say certain shit. I'm not saying placate to nobody's feelings, but what I'm saying is always be mindful of who you're talking to and what you're saying to them. Be mindful of this. Why? Because you care about that person. If I care about my brother and I know certain things affect him in a certain way, why would I communicate him? Why would I communicate with him in that way? Why would I communicate with him in a way that will offend him? Why would I do that? Knowingly, not unknowingly, but knowingly. You see? This is why we can't get across to the youth. This is why we don't understand what's really going on with the youth. Because you on the outside looking in, you just sitting back watching, judging. Shut up. Nobody cares about your opinion. Shut up with your old ass. Mind your business. Mind your business. See, I feel the same way. I feel the same way they feel about y'all. Mind your business and shut up. Since you always got something negative to say. Shut up. Go sit down. Go sit your old ass down. Since you always got something negative to say. Because you don't know what's going on out here. Get out of here. Go mind your business. Go do what old people do. Mind your business. Go take a nap. Because you don't know what's going on out here. Go sit down. What's good, Yaquaiba? Let's finish the article. Black youth who do come to clinical attention are often diagnosed with behavioral problems rather than other mental health conditions that identify an increased risk for suicide. They are more likely to receive poor quality care and are less likely to receive follow-up care after discharge from crisis or hospital services. Are y'all listening? Y'all see how this stuff is happening? These well-documented iniquities in healthcare foster distrust in healthcare systems, limiting opportunities for prevention, identification, and timely intervention. So this is another reason why a lot of our brothers aren't going to get help, because a lot of brothers have been, misdiagnosed. They've been misled, sent in the wrong directions. And a lot of guys are just like, man, I'm tired of it. I'm done. I'm going to just deal with this shit on my own. Structural factors reinforce racism and discrimination and elevate exposure to potentially traumatic events. These experiences exacerbate risk for mental health concerns and suicide among Black youth, who are also more likely to experience punitive treatment in the educational and juvenile justice systems. See this? So what they're saying is even when these kids get locked up, they're being misdiagnosed, they're being mistreated for their mental health issues, and then when a lot of them are free and they come home, a lot of them are committing suicide. Because when they were in these institutions, they were mishandled. Because this is what they do to Black men. This is what they do to us. Because they don't care about us. Michael Jackson told us that back when? In the 90s? They don't really care about us. See? But it seems like y'all don't want to grasp. Y'all still think it's not real. But here it is today. We got a young rapper by the name of E.Baby, 17 years old, took his life. And y'all still thinking that this mental health stuff with Black men is a game. Y'all still thinking this is a game. Y'all still thinking that we don't have to heal before we build, right? But this kid was an aspiring rapper. He's actually one of the young dudes from New York who started the New York drill wave, E.Baby. And how did he go out in the game? Suicide. Y'all give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, we back. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. We're going to finish up the last little bit of the article, but make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Hit the like button and share the show. Raven says they don't believe it's real. I can't tell you how many times I've heard he's just acting out sentiments from parents. Because that's passed down bullshit, Raven. That's passed down bullshit. They don't believe that some of these children really have mental health issues. Some of them really have chemical imbalances in their brain. This is what it means to have a screw loose. Remember growing up, we used to hear, yo, homie got a screw loose. That's a chemical imbalance in your brain. There's a lot of young Black boys out here like that. And he's being written off with behavioral issues. Oh, he just ADHD. Oh, he just can't stop running around. See, the article is telling you. And they're doing this because of racism. This is part of structural racism and institutionalized racism. This is how they do it. See, this is how they could be racist and you don't know how. By misdiagnosing your child with ADHD or autism. when he really has a much serious problem. Let's continue. Structural factors reinforce racism and discrimination and elevate exposure to potentially traumatic events. These experiences exacerbate risks for mental health concerns and suicide among Black youth, who are also most likely to experience punitive treatment in the educational and juvenile justice systems. There are disproportionately affected by adverse involvement in the child welfare system and the negative impacts of policing and violence. These cumulative factors are associated with the increased risk for suicide among Black youth. It says the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry recommends that child and adolescent psychiatrists, one, collaborate with other systems of care involved in the lives of Black youth to promote early recognition of suicide risk factors, which is crucial to increase awareness of the impact of structural racism, gender bias, discriminatory practices, and unconscious bias. Pay attention, y'all. 2, improve identification, access to care, and retention in mental health and substance use treatment for Black youth, with a focus on the impact of social detriments of health, discrimination, structural racism, stigma, gender, and sexual minority status, interpersonal and family conflict, and intergenerational trauma. Let's continue. Number 3, support evidence-based resiliency programs in Black youth with a focus on protective factors, including sense of belonging. You hear this, brothers? We need a sense of belonging. Racial and collective socialization, family strengths, and community cohesion. See, this is not going to work without the community's help. This is not going to work without y'all in the chat room helping. Without y'all that's going to be in the comment section. It's a community effort. Community cohesion, not rugged individualism. Rugged individualism creates depression. Rugged individualism creates stress. It creates the mental health problem. Thinking we got to do it all and know it all by our goddamn selves. And that is not how the goddamn world works. That's not even how nature works. Even nature needs other things for it to operate. Number 4, promote research for potential risk factors, including structural racism, bias, and incorrect diagnosis in order to help decrease under recognition of the precursors of suicide in these children and adolescents. We have to do what? Heal before we build. Let's continue. Advocate, number 5, advocate for increased investments. Pay attention now, because now you niggas love talking about money. Niggas love talking about money. So now let's put our money where our mouth is. This is what they're telling you. Advocate for increased investments in programs that build a more culturally competent and minority representative pediatric healthcare workforce. Okay? Okay? So that denotes what? Agency. We're going to have to do this together. We're going to have to work together. You want to save our kids? We're going to have to work together. Brother to brother, brother to sister, sister to sister. We're going to have to work together. Because we're going to have to build the systems for the future of our children. Oh, so you think the white man just did it, so the white woman ain't help him. So the Spanish woman ain't help her man. The Chinese woman didn't help her man. The Japanese woman didn't help her man, right? He just took over by himself. He just built the empire alone. Oh, they have protection and agency because they just have money. No. Wrong. They have agency. It's called agency. And you know how you create agency? By putting your money where your mouth is. So if you really care about black people and you care about the state of black people, that's what your money will denote. Where your investments lie. So if you're gonna take 100 bands and do what? And do what? When we got 17-year-old boys blowing their heads off. Oh, but that's not your problem, right? Oh, I know. Until it's a 17-year-old in your family to blow his brains out. Now we need help. Now we need to do something about it. We need to stop that sucker shit. Either you with it or you're not. And if you're not, just go sit down and have fun and, be a glittery nigga. And we'll put rhinestones on your casket. That's all. But don't say you a real one. Say you a glittery one. Because real men do what? Real things. See? So we have to do what? Advocate for increased investments in programs that build a more culturally competent and minority represented pediatric healthcare workforce, including research and education programs that promote the inclusion of health equity as a core competency in pediatric healthcare professional training. See that? Number 6, we must advocate for scholarship funding and loan forgiveness programs that target students underrepresented in medicine and child and adolescent mental health. But notice what the first word is in these sentences that I just read. Advocate. One person can't advocate. That falls on deaf ears. 10 people can't advocate. You see? This is why they said it's community cohesion. Okay? Advocacy is not just the ones on the front line. It's the ones that's supporting the ones on the front line as well. So when you guys support my content, you are also advocating what I'm advocating for. Understand this. What's good, Bucket? Understand this. And the link to this article will be down in the description box. You guys can go and read it over however you like, whenever you want. I appreciate everyone for tuning into today's show. But I really wanted to point this out, man, because I think a lot of times this whole mental health thing with black men are flying over our heads. It's being taken advantage of, it's being ignored, it's being put on a back burner. And why? when 2 or 3 generations after us, these black men are killing themselves at a rapid rate. They're taking themselves out the game. Eat Our Baby was 17 years old, man. 17 years old. So we got to stop thinking it's a game out here, man. We got to stop thinking, oh, that it just happened to him. But every day you see it happen more and more and more and more and more. Because the signs are showing you it's not an isolated situation. It's not just that one person. This is what's going on in the world. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. So shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. You enjoyed today's show. First, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the show. Hit the like button and share today's show. If you enjoying the content, don't hesitate. Join the channel. Get you a membership. Join the membership. We got some more new content coming for you guys, for my members only. So please stay tuned. I appreciate all the love and the support. If you enjoyed today's show, you would like to donate to the show, CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV. CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV is where y'all can go to donate to today's show. Most importantly, I appreciate y'all being here. So don't forget, get down in the comment section and let me know what you think of today's show. I would like to shout out, of course, this channel sponsor, Alpha Juice Co. Shout out to Alpha Juice Co. Get down in the description box or the pinned comment section. Click that link and use the promo code DS1Ross at your checkout to get a discount off on your Alpha Juice. You would like my first choice, fellas. If I want to recommend something to the fellas, I'm going to say Late Night Text. So shout out to y'all once again. I appreciate all the love and the support. If you hit the Cash App, I appreciate all the donations. Like I said, I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to you, Miss Angie. I appreciate it. Thank you, Miss Raven. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Salute to all the visionaries. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Before I get up out of here, Monday, we will not have a show. I will have a pre-record for you guys, but we will not have a live show on Monday. Your brother got to take care of some personal business, but we will be back on Tuesday with a live show. So you guys have a great weekend. Y'all stay tuned for Monday for that pre-record. Also, make sure you follow me and my brother podcast, me and my brother, the Book of Ronan. Join FMP Nation. Join FMP Nation. The links is down in the description box. Click those links. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us here on YouTube. And follow us on all podcast platforms. I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, we got to heal before we build. We got to heal before we build, because we are our own agency. We are our own agency. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.